You already know that Erik, my friend and neighbor, has created a musical instrument, which he calls the New. His first goal, obviously, was to design and make the New. But now that he's achieved it, you may wonder what his future plans are. Listen to the interview, and then I'll ask 1 or 2 questions to check your understanding.
So this instrument was my first prototype, my proof of concept. The next step will be to make a conical version. So this one is the same size here that it is down here, but a conical version will be like, it'll start very thin and then work its way out and have a very large bell at the end. It'll be a lot longer and it'll be made out of wood, so it'll be a lot more complicated to make.
Right, and the sound will be better.
I hope so.
Erik, you said you've already written a few compositions for the New, so will you continue to compose for the instrument?
Sure.
Yeah? Is that your focus? Like, what do you see in the future? Are you going to produce and sell models of the New?
Absolutely. I'll probably take a little bit of time off of performing and trying to record because I want to make the next one. I want to make that conical version, and it's going to take a lot of time and energy to do that.
Right, to make this prototype it took you almost a decade, but how long do you think it will take you with this next one?
Hopefully a year or less, we'll see.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, first question. What's the next step in Erik's plan? Is it to do more promotion for the New? Is it to compose more for the New? Or is it to build a new instrument? Erik said that the next step will be to make a conical version of the New. So he's going to make a second version. Let's write what he said. Okay, second question. How exactly will this conical version of the New differ from the first version? Well, hopefully you understand the word conical, but Erik explained in detail. He said this second version will start thin and then work its way out. It will be longer and it will be made out of wood. In all these descriptions about an instrument he plans to make in the future, he uses the word will. Will plus the base form of a verb. Will be, will start. And so there we have the first way we can refer to the future. The first way we can express a future state, event, or action. We use will plus the base form of the verb. When talking about the conical version of the New, Erik said it will be a lot more complicated to make. Again, we have will plus the base form of a verb, the verb be. But this time the verb is not expressing a future state or referring to a future action or event, is it? He's making a prediction. Based on the work that he did in the past on that first version, he's predicting that this conical version will be a lot more complicated to make. So there we have our second reason for using will plus the base form of a verb to make a prediction. I made my own guess by saying, well, it will be a lot more complicated, but the sound will be better. If you listened closely to all my questions about Erik's plans for the future, maybe you noticed that not all my questions used will. In fact, one of my questions was this: are you going to produce and sell models of the New? What's the verb here? We have be going to plus a base verb. Well, two verbs, two base verbs. A present form of be, going to, and then a base verb. That is our second way to refer to the future. So we can use will, or we can use be going to, plus a base verb. And both structures can be used to make plans, to express or state our plans. But there is one difference. When Erik was answering this question, he gave some thought and he said, I'll probably take a bit of time off from performing and trying to record. He answered using will. That's because he was thinking, and as he was speaking, he was making his plans. He used will. If plans are already made, we use be going to. But when you're making plans as you speak, usually the choice of verbs is will. There's also a difference for predictions. Both will and be going to can help us make predictions. But usually when we have certainty because there's evidence of some kind for a prediction, then the choice of verbs is usually be going to.
Remember, we use will and be going to express future actions, events, or states, to make predictions, and to state plans for the future. Now, when we make predictions, remember this. We usually use the future with be going to when we have reason to be certain. That means our prediction is based on some kind of evidence we have right now. Let's consider an example. Let's say that I'm talking to Erik's wife who is making him a birthday cake. I say, "Oh no, I think you should take out the cake now. Look in the oven. It's turning very brown. It's going to burn or get too dry." I'm making the prediction about the cake burning and getting dry based on what I see happening right now. Also recall this difference when we make plans. We use the future with be going to when our plans have already been made. We know our intentions. In contrast, we use the future with will when we make plans as we speak. Let's consider this example. I think I'll give Erik his birthday present today because I'm going to be out all day tomorrow. So being out all day tomorrow is a plan already made. Giving the birthday present now is something I'm planning. I'm talking about it as I plan it. Let me mention one more difference between will and be going to. We only use the future with will to make an invitation or request. Consider this example. Will you please come to my performance? It would mean a lot to me. This is a polite invitation, a polite request. We can try to change it and use be going to, but the question sounds different. Listen. Are you going to come to my performance? Instead of a polite invitation or request, it sounds more like I'm seeking confirmation. I'm demanding an answer. Perhaps I asked you already and I want to know your plans now. Are you going to come? Yes or no? Let's quickly review forms. The future uses will plus a base verb or be going to plus a base verb. For example, I will tell him. I am going to tell him. They will practice. They are going to practice. And of course, it's very common, especially when we're speaking, to use contractions. Contractions with the pronouns. We also use contractions in negative forms. Will not becomes won't, as in, he won't record this month. For be going to, it's common to contract the pronoun with that form of be, or the form of be with not, as in, he's not going to record. He isn't going to record. Both ways are common. In short answers to yes/no questions, remember we only need the first auxiliary verb, the first helping verb. Look at the examples. Will you finish this year? Yes, I will. No, I won't. Are you going to finish this year? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Let's do a quick check. Look at the two sentences. Which of those two sentences can follow this statement in blue? Look, he's taking out his guitar. We can follow that with, he's going to play for us. It's a prediction based on present evidence. Now consider the same two sentences, and this time tell me which of the two can come before the statement in blue. I already asked him, and he agreed. Again, we'll use be going to because it's a plan already made.